Yes, friends. Today we are going for the new model. There is a second model which was left out, which is actually a continuation of the rolling loads and the influence lines. It's named as the moving loads. We know that a moving load will result different effects for different positions of the loads. Means the structure being the same, when a load moves from one end to the other end, already through influence line diagram we have studied this moving load. The load will have the different effect at different locations that we have studied. Now we are studying the effect of single concentrated load. We are studying when it creates the maximum support reactions. What is the maximum positive shear force, maximum negative shear force, and where it occurs, and the bending moment at any section, and the maximum bending moment when a single load is moving from one end to the other end of that particular structure or the bridge. So consider a single load moving from one end to the other end. What is the value of the support reaction for different locations of the beam? That unit load, when it moves from one end to the other end, the support reaction at A is given by this one. Is it alright? Which clearly indicates that. Yes, which clearly indicates that the maximum support reaction will occur when this load is at this position. At any location, the support reaction RA is given by this influence line diagram when the load is at different locations. This diagram clearly says that when the load is at this position, suppose support reaction is maximum, and that support reaction is equal to the W, the load, multiplied by unity. So the maximum support reaction at A occurs when the load is at the support and the support reaction is equal to the amount of the load that is applied at that point. That is one thing. Maximum support reaction is equal to RA max is equal to W. Similarly, for a maximum support reaction at B, if you want, you know the influence line diagram for the RB is something like this, which clearly says you that when the unit load is at this location, the maximum reaction occurs at the point A, and when a load is moving, when the load is over B, the maximum support reaction occurs at B. Is it alright? When a single load is moving, the position of the load for maximum support reaction at A is over the A, and at B, maximum support reaction at B is over the B. That is in connection with the support reactions. Now, coming for the shear force. We know that whenever the load is moving, we already proved that the shear force at any section is given by, when unit load is moving, the value of shear force at any section is given by. Yes, when a unit load is at any location, say when unit load is at this location, when at this particular location the shear force is given by, yes, Wx, unit load, the shear force at any location is, you have studied the influence line diagram for the SF at any location. You have studied the influence line diagram for the SF at any location. What is the SF at any location? At any distance x. When the load is in this particular part, when the load is in this location, when the load is, if you want the shear force, let me to clear it here only. Is it alright? This is what the beam, if you want the shear force at any distance SF at this particular point, which is at a distance of x from one of the end. So how you are constructing the SF? When the unit load is on this side, the value of RB itself is the shear force. The value of RB itself is the shear force. Therefore, when in this location, the SF is given by RB. When the shear force created by the RB, whether it is positive or negative as per our location, as per our sign convention, RB is creating a shear force like this. The left is moving up. Is it alright? Left is moving up means that particular shear force we are taking it as the positive. Indirectly what I can say, the shear force created by RB will be positive and shear force created by RA will be negative. Is it alright? Therefore, if you want to construct the shear force diagram, this is the influence line diagram for the RA. This is to be taken as a negative. When the load is in this region, the influence line diagram for RA is this one. At this point, if I want it at a distance of x, means what is this particular distance? This distance is equal to L minus x. Divided by L will be this ordinate. If this ordinate is L minus x, this ordinate will become L minus x. Therefore, this ordinate will become L minus x. Therefore, this ordinate is equal to 1 divided by L into L minus x. That we have studied already, right? Like that, the influence line diagram, when the load is in this part, whatever the support reaction RA is there, that will be the shear force at this location. And for different locations, different positions of the loads, I know the influence line diagram for the shear force. Therefore, this is nothing but the negative shear force, and here comes the influence line diagram for the RA. When the load is in this location, influence line diagram for RA. When the load is in this location, whatever the influence line diagram for RA is there, that will be the SF. And when the load is in this particular location, when load comes here, influence line diagram for RA means this is what the influence line diagram for RA. When the load is in this location, influence line diagram for RB means I need to lift this by unity and join it like this. So, influence line diagram for the shear force will be like this. What is this value? This value is nothing but this 1 divided by L into x, 1 by L into x. So, this ordinate is L by x and this ordinate is L minus x divided by L. Here is the positive shear force. When you want the shear force at any location at a distance of x, the maximum positive shear force is equal to x divided by L into W, I can say. Therefore, the maximum shear force at any distance x from A is equal to just wait for a minute. Can you see this diagram below? Can you see this diagram? Yes, you can see this diagram. Here is the positive shear force, which is nothing but x divided by L is the reaction multiplied with the load. You will get its unit reaction due to unit load multiplied with the load will give you the shear force. Therefore, at any distance x, the shear force is equal to x by L into W. You know that x will be less than the L. And negative shear force is given by S L minus x divided by L into W. Are you getting what is this L minus x divided by L? This is the influence line diagram for unit load for the support reaction RB. Is it alright? Support reaction RA it is. This is RB, this is RA. RB means here is the B, you are lifting it unity, you are getting like that. Space is a bit congested, that is why I am not so comfortable to explain it. Here I could have explained, but earlier I had drawn it. So, if influence line diagram for RA, influence line diagram for RA if you are considering, it will be like this. Here is the section. When the load is on this part, RB's influence line diagram. RB influence line diagram is like this. So this is x. What is this value then? X divided by L. And this I need to take it as the positive. But I have drawn it below the line. It should be above the line, right? Therefore, when unit load is there at that time, the maximum positive shear force is X by L into W. And maximum negative shear force is here what? L minus X divided by L into W. It's alright. Negative, positive, it is based on our sign convention. As usually, I am taking the shear force. Left part, if it moves upwards, I am taking it as a positive, as you have studied it in the SF and BM diagrams in the song class. The same sign convention if we are adopting, the shear force due to RB will be positive and shear force due to the RA will be negative. RB is given by how much? W by L, X by L into W. And RA is given by L minus X divided by L into W. Now, I want this positive shear force, maximum positive shear force. Can you imagine when this shear force will be maximum? When this shear force will be maximum, just imagine X is changing from 0 to L. Therefore, when X becomes maximum value of X is L. Therefore, where it is, maximum value of X will become L near the support RP. Means when the load is near the support RP, that time maximum shear force occurs. Maximum positive shear force occurs indirectly, which is nothing but the value of the RB is equal to maximum. If at all I ask you to get the maximum shear force at any location for single load, either that load should be near the left support or it should be near the right support. If it is near the left support, it is creating the maximum positive shear force. And if it is like if I extend this one, maximum shear force, negative shear force is given by L minus X divided by L into W. L is the span, X is the distance from that particular support. We want this particular quantity to be maximum. L minus X divided by L. I want it to be maximum. When it is possible, when L is minimum, X is minimum. What is the minimum value of X? Is nothing but the 0, or when it is approximately just crossing the point A, support A. That time the maximum shear force here it occurs. Anyhow, the maximum shear force is equal to, in this case also it is W, in this case also it is equal to W. Indirectly, the meaning of that one is, if you put the load here, shear force will be equal to W here, and at any other point it is equal to 0. Therefore, maximum shear force occurs here. If you put the load here, this reaction becomes W and this will become 0. Shear force here become equal to 0 and will be maximum near the left support, right support. That you need to understand. This sign convention from book to book may change. It depends on how you are taking the shear force, which is plus or minus. Like our sign convention is, if this is the member and because of the applied load, part 1, part 2, if this part 2 moves in upward direction because of the applied load, we have taken till today as the positive. On that basis, for the maximum positive shear force, my load should be near the left support, and for maximum negative bending moment, in case of single load I am speaking of, in case of single point load I am speaking of here, that time it is equal to, now the same thing I have written here, maximum positive shear force at distance x from A is equal to X divided by L into W. Therefore, if at all you want the maximum positive shear force, X must be equal to how much? L, and maximum positive shear force will be W. At a distance Xi is general one. And if you want a particular maximum, when this X by L into W will be maximum when X is equal to S1. then this quantity will be maximum. Now I want the bending moment at any section. I want the bending moment at any section. At any section. Section load is moving. You are calculating the bending moment at any section. How you are calculating the bending moment at any section? In the influence line diagram I had told you. Bending moment when unit load is moving. When unit load is moving, the influence line diagram for bending moment at any section A is given by. Influence line diagram for bending moment at any section A is given by, yes, like this. What is this number? A. What is this other number? If the total span is L, L minus A. Yes, A into L minus A divided by L will be the influence line diagram for bending moment at any distance L from one of the end. Otherwise I can write it as X. Load is moving. Here the distance is fixed. It's all right. At any location X when the load is moving. At any location X when the load is moving, the bending moment is given by, bending moment at that location is given by A into L minus A divided by L. Right? So maximum bending moment itself is this number if you see the figure, and this number happens to be W. Now I want to know for what position of A the bending moment is maximum. For what position of A the bending moment is maximum. Indirectly, my equation for bending moment is given by us A into L minus A into W divided by L. Right? I want this. My equation for bending moment is A into L minus A divided by L into W. At any location L, the bending moment is given by this equation. For what position of A, I want to know the bending moment is maximum. Yes, for that what I can do, I just differentiate this M. This is nothing but the M. Differentiate the M with respect to A. dm by dA. You calculate it. What is it? So here L into A, differentiation of L into A is with respect to A is nothing but L. And differentiation of A square is L minus A minus differentiation of A square is 2A. dm by dA you calculate it and make it equal to 0. Therefore, you will get the value of A is equal to L by 2. What is the other meaning of this one? It is very important one. Yes, if the load is moving and you are calculating the bending moment, you want the bending moment to be maximum. Maximum bending moment when the load is moving from one end to the other end. Where that maximum bending moment occurs is L by 2. It will occur at the center. Yes, the same thing I am putting it. Instead of A, I have used the notation X. The bending moment at any section X is given by X into L minus X divided by L into W. Therefore, section of absolute maximum bending moment is, means immaterial of the load, at what section the bending moment is maximum, that I want to calculate. Just differentiate this ordinate with respect to the X. That time you are going to get dm by dx and make it equal to 0. You will get the value of X is equal to L by 2. Friends, usually 3 or 4 categories of the problems is asking in the examination. It is bit difficult for we to understand the concept. Anyhow, if we understand 3 or 4 concepts, we can go through the examination. Here, what he says, what we arrived here is one important conclusion is, yes, the maximum bending moment when a load is moving, when only single load is moving I am speaking of. It is general when any series of loads are moving. Then also, if we, without giving you the section, if we ask you to get the maximum bending moment, the section you have to select at the center. Maximum bending moment for moving load will occur when the load is, when the section, not the load, when the unit load, the condition is okay, when the load is at the center. For moving load, if you want it, the section should be at the center. Yes. That is for the single load. What we all learned here for the single load, what are our conclusions or what are our findings in case of the single load? When a single load is moving from one end to the other end, the maximum positive shear force will occur when the load is near the left support, and maximum negative shear force will occur when the load is near the right support, and that shear force is equal to the magnitude of the load. Support reaction, if left support I want to be maximum support reaction at left support, if I want, then the load should be over the left support, and maximum right support reaction if you want, you are expecting the load to be at the right position. Is it all right? Then the important finding is at what section a single unit load is moving over the span, which is the section where it gives us the maximum bending moment. Indirect meaning of this one is, if I draw this bending moment diagram for x is equal to something less than, say, a, that time it will appear like this. In between it, if I draw it at the center, it will appear like this bending moment diagram. If you draw it at some other point, it will appear like this. At some other point, it will appear like this. What is the conclusion from this one? Maximum will occur at this particular section. X is equal to L by 2. Now coming from the examination point of view, whatever I am explaining you right now, it is very important one. Maximum bending moment under a given point load. Maximum bending moment under a given point, under a given series of loads. Under a given load, when series of loads are moving. Say, a series of loads, he has not given us the section. He has given us the series of loads, W1, W2, W3, W4. They are moving from one end. This as a lot, the loads are interconnected. The distance between them are fixed one. He will give you these distances. Say this is 2 meter, this is 3 meter. Again, this may be 3 or 2 meter. And the loads, different loads here, he will be given. When such loads are moving from one end to the other end, this is the span of the beam. And what he wants is, I want the maximum bending moment under the load 2, under the load 3. Here we are having the two categories of problem. One is the maximum bending moment under any load, like maximum bending moment under W1 or W2 or W3 or W4. Remember, maximum bending moment for W1 may be less than or more than the maximum bending moment for W2 or maximum bending moment for W3, like that. He has given us the series of loads, 3 or more than 4 loads or number of loads he has given. He is asking you to get the maximum bending moment near or under a particular load. What are the steps involved for it? Yes, first calculate the position of resultant force system from one end. Is it all right? He has given you the 4 forces, W1, W2, W3, W4. Distance between them are A, B, C. First, you need to calculate the position of the resultant from one of the load. For example, I will explain you with an example. Like here, he has given you the loads. One load is equal to 30 kilonewton. One more load. Yes, I'll put it in different page so that it will be more clear to you. Say here, series of loads are moving like this. Yes, here one 10 kilonewton load, here one more 30 kilonewton load. Yes, here a load of 40 kilonewton. Yes friends, it is a bit difficult for you, as per my opinion or experience, to understand the things from the books. That is why listen to me carefully. So this is 10 kilonewton, 40 kilonewton, 30 kilonewton, 40, 30 kilonewton, and one more load is equal to 20 kilonewton. This series of loads, like one vehicle behind the other vehicle at fixed distances, they are moving over that particular structure, or a train of loads we call it as. Of that, whatever the front load is there, when he gives a series of loads, only this load as a single unit you need to move in the forward or the backward direction, but you cannot change the position distance between those loads. That you need to remember here, right? So he has given us the different distances for these loads. So the distance between these two loads is 2 meter, 3 meter, say like here it is 2.5 meter. Now imagine that what he is saying is, first you calculate the center resultant of all these forces, position of resultant of all these forces. You know how to calculate the position of the resultant. Yes, let R be the resultant, and that resultant is acting at a distance of x bar from one of the loads, say 10 km, either from this end or from this end you can take it. It is acting at a distance of x bar from one of the load. So how to calculate the value of x bar? How we are calculating the value of x bar? You are taking moment of all the forces. If you want it from A, you are taking the moment of all the forces from A. Take moment of all the forces from the A. What you are going to get? Yes, 10 into 0 minus 30 into 2 minus 40 into 5 minus 20 into 2.5. Is it alright? This is the moment of all the forces about the A. Divide it with the resultant force, that is nothing but the total force. 10 plus 30 plus 40 plus 20. Guess what is the number that you are getting here? Yes, 30 into 2 plus 40 into 5 plus 20 into, sorry, 20 into, it should be 5.5. 20 into 5.5 plus 20 into 5.5 is equal to. So all these moments are anti-clockwise. That sign won't matter if you are taking all the loads on one side only. Is it alright? Divided by total load is nothing but 60. 60 plus 40, 100. Divide by 100. So what I got is, from here at a distance of 3.7. From here at a distance of 3.7, I got the resultant. So what is the way to get the maximum bending moment under the load? What he says is, first you calculate the center of gravity of the resultant force from one of the end. Like I got the center of gravity from resultant force from this end is equal to 3.7. If you want from this end also, you can get it. From here, if I get the position of the resultant as something, say the x, if I call it as the x, then what is the position of the resultant from B? This is from A I got, right? From B, if you want the x, what you are doing? You are taking the moment from the B, that is 20 into 0. Is it alright? Plus 40 into 2.5 plus 30 into 5.5. something is wrong here. 20 into it should be 7.5 or 7.5, sorry friends, 7.5, 5.5, 7.5, 10 into 7.5 plus 10 into 7.5. This number is to be changed. This is not 3.75. Yes, 30 into 2 plus 40 into 5 plus 20 into 7.5 is equal to divide by 100. 30 into 2 plus 40 into 5 plus 20 into 7.5 is equal to divide by 100 is equal to, from here if I want the center of the load, resultant position of the resultant load, it is located at a distance of 4.1 meter. From here if I want it, yes, again divide by 100, 10 plus 30 plus 40 plus 20. From here if I want the position of the resultant, then I need to take the moment about the point B, that is nothing but the 20 into 0 plus 40 into 2.5 plus 30 into 5.5 plus 10 into 7.5. Divide by 10 plus 30 plus 40 plus 20. So if I do like that, what I am going to get? 40 into 2.5 plus 30 into 5.5 plus 10 into 7.5 is equal to, so I will get it as 3.4. Most probably friends, you are getting what is the meaning of this one. If this is the given set of the loads, 10 kilonewton, 30 kilonewton, 40 kilonewton, friends, only these two are a bit complicated or most repeatedly asked. Maximum bending moment under a given load and maximum bending moment at a given location. Location is given to you. At this location, when these loads are passing out, at this location I want the maximum bending moment. What to do for that one? And second category of the problem is when these loads are moving from one end to the other end, I want the maximum bending moment near a particular load. For that, what you need to do, what you are doing, only those are the cases. That is why I will give more stress on such type of problem. In the examination, mostly he will ask on this one. Now and then the UDL problems may come, but most of the cases he will ask on the bending moment only, right? Now this is system of loads. What I did now is this is the 2 meter, 3 meter, 2.5. When I got the resultant, say the resultant is R somewhere here, and from this position, from this end it is located at a distance of 4.1 meter. So from this end we have calculated it as 3.4. Just if you want, you can check it. 4.1 plus 3.4 is 7.5 is the total length of the load. Now what is the next step? So for example, imagine that this is what your beam is, say having a length is equal to say 18 meter. This load is moving. This load is moving. It starts from here and it will move like this. And he wants you tell me when the maximum bending moment will occur under the 30 kilonewton. When the maximum bending moment will occur under the 30 kilonewton. So you have calculated where is the position of the resultant. Next, what you need to do is you need to calculate the distance between the load under which you want the bending moment and the resultant load. Your load is here and resultant load is here. You need to calculate this distance. This distance is nothing but how much? 4.1 minus 2 is equal to 2.1 meter. Now you calculate the distance between the center between these 2 points. Which are those 2 points? One is the position of the resultant and one more is the load under which you want the maximum load, maximum bending moment. Is it alright? Yes, that happens to be 2.1 divided by 2 from here and also from here. Now what you need to do is say this middle point is some point C. You need to put the load on the beam such that that point C is coinciding with the center of the beam. So total is 18 meter. Center is at a distance of 9 meter and 9 meter. So you bring this point C here and adjust rest of position of the load. That itself is the position for the maximum bending moment. So here it is 2.1 divided by 2 means 1.09, 1.05. This distance is 2.1 divided by 2. First here the 30 kilonewton is coming. Where is the next load? Here it is, from here it is 30 means where is the next load? Yes, from here it is 30. What I told you, first you calculate the center, you calculate the resultant of the position of the resultant. From position of the resultant you calculate the center point between the load at which you want the bending moment and the midway between these 2 points. Total is 2.1 means here the midpoint is 2.1 by 2.1 by 2. So this is 2.1 divided by 2. So keep rest of the loads in position. So this is 30 kilonewton loads position. Next load is at a distance of 2 meter. Okay. Next here the load is 40 kilonewton. Where it is? From here this distance is 2.1 by 2. This is 40 and back of it this load is coming. How much? This is 20. This is what the position of the load to give the maximum bending moment at the 30 kilonewton load, under the 30 kilonewton load. Yes, maximum bending moment occurs here and that will give you the maximum bending moment when the load is under the 30 kilonewton load. Now imagine that you want the maximum bending moment under the 40 kilonewton load. You want the maximum bending moment at a section under the 40 kilonewton. What was the solution told for you? If a train of load is moving and if you want the maximum bending moment under any load, say earlier I was expected it at under the 30 kilonewton. Now I am expecting it at under the 40 kilonewton. What he says is, you calculate the center of these loads, resultant of the loads. I got it at a distance is equal to, from here I got it at a distance is equal to 3.4 meter. This distance is 3.4. Okay, this is 3.4. Now you calculate the distance between the load and the resultant. What was it? This is 2.5 and this is 3.4. Means this gap is equal to 0.9. This is the resultant position of the load and this is the load under which I am interested to get the maximum bending moment. The gap between them is equal to 0.9. Divide it into 2 parts. Get the center point of it. That is equal to 0.9 divided by 2. 0.9 divided by 2. 0.9 divided by 2. Now this is my beam. Here is the center of the load. If you want the maximum bending moment under the 40 kilonewton, maximum bending moment under the 40 kilonewton, then what he says is you adjust the load in such a fashion that the resultant load and the 40 kilonewton load are equidistant from the center. Here your center is 9 meter and 9 meter, right? 9 meter and 9 meter. This is what the 40 kilonewton is. 40 kilonewton is, and here is the resultant. distance between them is 0.9. Therefore, this distance will become equal to 0.45. This distance is also equal to 0.45. When this spot is fixed here, this spot is fixed here, can you tell me what is the position of 30 kilonewton? Here is the center. This distance is 0.45. Therefore, what is this load? 30 kilonewton. Can you guess it? What is the distance between 30 and 40? Is equal to 3 meter. Of that, 4.45 is on this side. Therefore, left out here is 2.55. The rest all positions are fixed. Right? 40. Therefore, this is equal to how much? 10. And this is the position of 20. And this is the position of the 10 kilonewton. This is the position for the maximum bending moment under the 40 kilonewton load. So friends, once again, this is very important. Once again, I will repeat what are the procedures involved in getting two categories of problem. Usually, from my experience, the students will get confused between these two. One more is there. That also we shall see it afterwards. Three categories of problems. One is the maximum bending moment under a load. Second one is the maximum bending moment at a section. Third one is the absolute maximum bending moment. Whatever may be the position of the section, whatever may be the position of the load, I want the maximum bending moment in the beam. That is the third category. That is called as absolute maximum bending moment. One more category is a location is given to you in the beam and he wants the maximum bending moment at that location. That is the second category. We are seeing the first category. Usually of these three categories only you will ask the problems. Yes, first category is what is the bending moment, maximum bending moment under any load. What is the maximum bending moment under any load? How to calculate it? Only here what we need to do is we need to fix the position of the loads for the maximum bending moment. How to fix it? That itself I am explaining you. First step what you need to do is you need to calculate the resultant position of the resultant of force system. Then what you need to do is get the midway between the load under which you want the maximum bending moment and the resultant load. And that whatever midpoint is there, that is to be fixed at the midpoint of the beam to get the maximum bending moment under the given load. Most probably when I solve a problem related with that one, you will get the clear picture of that one. Okay friends, thank you. We shall see it in the